get from the book. I want them to get, the almost unthinkable change that's happened over the last 40 years in convents. That whole concept that everything has changed, that no one has come into most communities in North America, and that convents are closing or are for sale. That was unthinkable in the time that I was there. That there have been so many social, political changes, especially with regard to women, that young women are no longer entering convents. If you had said that to the Mother General when I was there, if you had said to her 40 years ago, well, you know, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, no one is going to be going into convents, she would have thought that was heresy. And at the time, that was, you know, it would have been kind of correct for her thinking. Also, I want people to get the idea that nuns deserve their place in history. They deserve their place in history because they did found hospitals, they did found schools, they did work with the aged before anybody else did, and they did good work. Granted, there was some negativity, it wasn't all ideal, that's true, but they still deserve their place because there are a lot of really dedicated, good nuns, really good. Also, I want people to understand that if you make a life-changing decision that changes everything, that you can survive. Because that's the life-changing decision of leaving the convent, going out there with almost no money and very little support, trying to reconnect with a family who hardly knew you anymore. It wasn't their fault and it wasn't my fault. So we did that. And also trying to learn all the dynamics of modern life, like how do you associate with men? How do you meet them? What do you do when you're with one? You know, they were almost like these foreign animals to us. So, and then money. How do you manage money? Like before, see, everything was always managed for you. And you have to now figure out things that are very serious, like first and last month's rent. That's serious business. Paying for the furniture, serious business. Food, clothing. I shopped at Reitman's for years after I left the convent. And Reitman's, I still like Reitman's. But I didn't have any money for like anything really fashionable or anything like that. You have to recognize and a friend of mine actually signed for a loan for a car because I had no credit rating. No bank or institution would have given me a loan for a car, even a very small loan. So a friend of mine said he knew I'd be good for it, and he signed for the loan, which I've always been grateful for, deeply grateful for that. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have gotten back and forth to school. The bus route didn't go to that school. So I could see that would have been like kind of a major issue. My family certainly would have loaned me the money, but I didn't want to do that. You want to be independent, and people were terrified of becoming a burden to their family. So you learn to navigate all of that, and most did well. Most of us did well. Some married fairly early on after they left. I thought, I've been through a set of vows, I don't want to go into another one, at least not right away. And so I established a much more independent mindset. And in the convent, they wouldn't allow us to go to university. They said it's not a good policy to send any young sister to university. So when I left, I had to do summer school, night school, intercession to get my undergraduate degree, as well as teaching at the same time. Then I did a master's degree. Well, when you get into that, your social life is somewhat limited because you're studying all the time. That doesn't go over big with the guy that you're dating. You know, what do you mean you're studying? So you should have done that a long time ago. So, but it's worked out well for me. Life is